The energy around Madison Square Garden feels different this year. The lights are a little brighter, the crowd a little louder, and the expectations a whole lot higher. And standing right in the middle of it all is Mikal Bridges. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Now in his second season with the New York Knicks, Bridges is preparing for a new challenge. One that comes with a new head coach, new strategies, and a renewed sense of purpose. At 29 years old, Mikal Bridges has already earned a reputation across the league as one of the best two-way players in basketball. He's the kind of guy who can lock down an opponent's best scorer one possession, then drain a smooth jumper or finish a tough drive the next. His length, quickness, and discipline make him a nightmare for anyone who dares to go against him. But this season marks a turning point. With Mike Brown now taking over as head coach, the Knicks are entering a new era, one that emphasizes versatility, speed, and relentless defense. Brown, known for his defensive philosophy and attention to detail, has already made it clear how much he values Bridges' impact on both ends of the floor. He'll take on some of those point-of-attack responsibilities, Brown said recently in an interview with the New York Daily News. If Reggie Miller were still around, I'd put Mikal on him. He does such a great job navigating screens, staying tight to shooters, and contesting shots with those long arms. But he can also guard point guards. He's versatile, he's physical, and he makes people feel him when he's out there. That kind of praise doesn't come easily from Mike Brown, a coach who spent years working with elite defenders in the league. For him to compare Bridges' defensive potential to the kind of effort it would take to guard someone like Reggie Miller, that says a lot. And it's not just about defense. Brown has also been vocal about wanting to unlock more of Bridges' offensive game, encouraging him to attack off the dribble, to create shots for teammates, and to be more assertive in transition. Bridges, for his part, has embraced the challenge with his trademark humility and work ethic. Our coverages are a little different now, he explained. The terminology changes, the concepts shift a bit. There's more focus on being aggressive off the ball, helping the guy guarding the ball more, just being active and communicating. It's clear that Bridges isn't afraid of change. In fact, he welcomes it. Having played under Tom Thibodeau for his first season with New York, Bridges knows what it's like to work within a demanding defensive system. But Brown's approach, while still disciplined, brings a slightly different flavor, one that emphasizes flexibility and reads rather than rigid structure. For the Knicks, that could be exactly what they need. Last season, New York showed flashes of brilliance, but inconsistency and fatigue often caught up to them. The addition of Mike Brown, combined with Bridges' growing leadership role, could be the spark that finally pushes them over the top. And Bridges knows it. He's been in big moments before, deep playoff runs, tough series, hostile crowds. His experience, combined with his relentless mindset, gives the Knicks something every team craves, a player who does the little things that win games. Whether it's diving for a loose ball, fighting through a screen, or taking on the other team's star scorer, Bridges brings effort you can feel, the kind that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet but changes the entire tone of a game. He's the kind of player teammates trust, coaches rely on, and fans grow to love. As the Knicks continue through the preseason, Bridges will have a few more chances to fine-tune his timing and chemistry with the rest of the roster. The early games will be about experimenting, figuring out rotations, refining communication, and adjusting to Brown's system. But everyone inside the organization knows, once the regular season begins, Mikal Bridges will be one of the keys to their success. There's a quiet confidence in the air around him. Not arrogance, confidence. The kind that comes from preparation, from hard work, from knowing you've earned every bit of respect that comes your way. For Bridges, this isn't just another season. It's a statement year, an opportunity to prove that his skill set, his effort, and his leadership can help elevate the Knicks into serious contention. So as the Garden lights up and the crowd begins to roar, keep an eye on number 25. Watch the way he moves, the way he defends, the way he never takes a play off. Because Mikal Bridges isn't just playing basketball. He's setting the tone for an entire team. And if things go the way the Knicks hope, this could be the year that tone turns into triumph. The New York Knicks are no strangers to change. Every off-season brings a new set of questions, adjustments, and expectations, and this year was no different. After falling short in the playoffs, the team entered the summer determined to strengthen one particular area that had let them down when it mattered most, their bench depth. Last season's playoff run exposed how thin the rotation had become when injuries and fatigue hit. Players like Cameron Payne, Precious Akayawa, and Delon Wright, originally expected to be supporting pieces, suddenly found themselves playing major postseason minutes. They worked hard, but the team simply lacked the reliable spark off the bench that championship-caliber squads often rely on. So, as the off-season began, the Knicks front office went to work. Their mission was clear: rebuild the second unit with experience, shooting, and composure. They moved quickly to sign Gershon Yabusele and Jordan Clarkson, two proven names who could immediately bolster the roster. But even after those early moves, one important piece of the puzzle was still missing: a veteran guard who could provide both stability and shooting in limited minutes. That's when the Knicks turned back to a familiar face. Late in the summer, they brought back Landry Shamet, a reliable journeyman shooter and a player who had already earned the respect of both coaches and teammates during his previous stint with the franchise. For Shamet, it's another chance to do what he's always done best: fit in, stay ready, and make an impact whenever his number is called. Throughout his 7-year NBA career, Shamet has built a reputation as one of the league's most dependable role players. He's been part of multiple playoff teams, appearing in 64 postseason games across several deep runs. Wherever he's gone, from Philadelphia and Los Angeles to Phoenix and New York, he's earned his minutes through discipline, effort, and an unshakable confidence in his shot. During Tom Thibodeau's final year as the Knicks head coach, Shamet became one of the trusted bench options, offering relentless energy on defense and a steady hand from beyond the arc. And although the team has since transitioned to a new era under head coach Mike Brown, the value of a veteran like Shamet remains clear. Shooting has always been his calling card. Over his career, Shamet has connected on nearly 39% of his three-point attempts, a mark that places him among the most consistent perimeter shooters of his generation. Last season, he posted his best outside shooting numbers in half a decade, knocking down nearly 40% of his threes. But his efficiency doesn't stop there. Inside the arc, he's finishing at nearly 60%, demonstrating improved touch and smarter shot selection. Still, what sets Shamet apart isn't just his numbers, it's his understanding of his role. He's not trying to be a star. He's not chasing the spotlight. He's the kind of player who makes teams better by doing the little things: spacing the floor, playing within the system, defending with effort, and keeping the energy high in the locker room. In New York, that mindset fits perfectly. The Knicks' backcourt hierarchy is well defined. Jalen Brunson remains the engine, the unquestioned leader of the team, and even as Coach Brown looks to lighten his workload, Brunson's playmaking and shot creation will continue to drive the offense. Around him, players like Shamet become essential. When Brunson draws the defense, shooters like Landry are there to punish opponents from deep. But competition for minutes will be fierce this season. The return of Mitchell Robinson to the starting lineup and Josh Hart's move to a bench role give Brown even more flexibility. Add in the explosive scoring of Jordan Clarkson and the growing presence of young guard Miles McBride, and suddenly the Knicks' second unit looks deeper and more dynamic than it has in years. For Shamet, that means every game, every possession, and every shot matters. He may not start, but when he steps on the floor, he brings something that stats can't always capture: experience, poise, and an understanding of how to win at the margins. He knows how to move without the ball, how to find space in the corner, how to rotate quickly on defense, and how to make the extra pass that keeps an offense flowing. These are the subtle, often overlooked details that separate contenders from pretenders. Coach Mike Brown has a clear vision for his bench unit. He wants speed, spacing, and energy. Shamet embodies all three. When his jumper is falling, he can stretch defenses and open up driving lanes for Brunson, Hart, or Clarkson. And when his shot isn't dropping, he stays engaged, defending hard, hustling for loose balls, and keeping communication tight on the floor. That's the kind of professionalism that earns trust and minutes over time. Landry Shamet may not be the flashiest name on the roster, but for teams like the Knicks, players like him are invaluable. He's the 10th man who can step in and hit a big shot. The veteran who steadies a young lineup. The quiet contributor who helps transform talent into teamwork. In a season where the Knicks are aiming to take another step forward in the Eastern Conference, depth will matter more than ever. And in that depth, Landry Shamet represents something essential: reliability. He's not there to dominate the headlines. He's there to make sure the team doesn't lose sight of the small things, the things that often decide close games in May and June. For the Knicks, bringing him back wasn't just about adding another player. It was about adding a presence, a professional, a competitor, and a shooter who understands what it takes to contribute when the spotlight isn't his. As far as 10th man options go, you could do a lot worse than Landry Shamet. One Knicks player is officially untouchable in Giannis Antetokounmpo trade talks. If the New York Knicks ever decide to revisit their pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo, one thing is absolutely certain: the cornerstone of their franchise won't be part of any deal. No matter how tempting the opportunity, the Knicks have made it clear: their leader, their captain, their heartbeat, is staying right where he is. Should New York re-enter the Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, the captain won't be abandoning ship. Instead, he'll be steering it. Right now, all eyes across the basketball world are focused on Milwaukee. The future of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP and one of the most dominant forces in the NBA, remains uncertain. A recent report from NBA insider Shams Charania revealed that the Bucks and the Knicks briefly held talks about a potential deal involving the superstar forward. And if Giannis were ever traded, Charania noted, his preferred landing spot would reportedly be Manhattan, the heart of New York City, the mecca of basketball. It's a situation loaded with speculation and intrigue, full of what-ifs and maybes. But according to veteran journalist Sam Amick of The Athletic, one thing has become undeniably clear: if the Knicks do decide to reopen trade discussions, Jalen Brunson will not be part of those talks. Brunson, the team's point guard and captain, has been declared untouchable. Amick stated, quote, "Team sources have made it clear that Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson was, as expected, untouchable in these conversations." He went on to explain that when it comes to players who might realistically be considered in a potential deal, the logical candidates would be Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson. However, even if Milwaukee found that kind of package appealing, New York reportedly has its own concerns. The Knicks front office is wary of the imbalance a blockbuster trade of this magnitude could create, how it might disrupt the chemistry, depth, and structure that's made this roster one of the most competitive in recent memory. That doesn't mean the Knicks aren't interested in Giannis. They absolutely are. But they're also realistic. The organization has seen enough proof over the years that even a player as dominant as Antetokounmpo can't win it all alone. Championships are built on balance, trust, and cohesion, and right now, the Knicks believe they're closer to that formula than they've been in decades. And that belief starts with Jalen Brunson. Since leaving Dallas in the summer of 2022 and signing a 4-year, $104 million contract with New York, Brunson has completely transformed the identity of the Knicks. In just a short time, he's gone from being a rising star to the undeniable face of the franchise, a true floor general who's turned New York into a perennial playoff contender. Under his leadership, the Knicks have made their most convincing championship push in years. And while the noise around Antetokounmpo continues to swirl, Brunson's rise has been steady, grounded, and inspiring. He's become one of the most dangerous backcourt players in the league, a scorer, a playmaker, and a leader who commands respect both on and off the court. Before last season began, Brunson accepted a team-friendly contract extension, proving his loyalty to the city and the franchise. He was also officially named team captain, an honor previously held by some of the most iconic figures in Knicks history: Carmelo Anthony, Patrick Ewing, Earl, the Pearl Monroe, and Willis Reed. That's elite company, and Brunson has more than earned his place among them. So, Knicks fans, get used to seeing number 11 running the floor at Madison Square Garden, directing traffic, creating plays, and leading his teammates with the same relentless energy that's revived basketball in New York. Alongside stars like Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson, Brunson has helped bring the Knicks back to relevance, to pride, and to hope. Amick's report also suggested that those dreaming of a Giannis trade might have to wait. The Knicks are in no rush. They want to see how this current group performs after reaching their first conference finals appearance, their first Final Four run, since the year 2000. The Knicks, Amick said, were reportedly frustrated by the noise stirred up by this latest report. They appear fully committed to making a legitimate title run with this current roster. He added, "Whatever happens next will depend largely on whether the team can live up to its own high expectations in the season ahead." In short, the Knicks aren't chasing stars just for headlines anymore. They're chasing banners. They're building chemistry, identity, and belief, something the city has been craving for decades. And at the center of it all stands Jalen Brunson, the captain, the competitor, and the player New York has made crystal clear, is absolutely untouchable.